What is going on, guys? This is Indefensible Pawl Bazile. Today we are going to talk about the latest hate crime hoax that everyone's talking about. When I say everyone, I don't mean the mainstream media. I don't mean the lazy media. I don't mean the fraudulent media. I mean mostly people who partake in new right politics, people who fancy themselves conservatives or anti-SJWs, and people like myself of that ilk who go, oh my God, do you see this? Do you see this? Do you see what happened? And if you don't know what happened, give you a quick summation. There is a former Tampa Bay Buccaneers football player named Edawn Coughman. And what he was caught red-handed doing was vandalizing his own restaurant, his own business. Apparently, people are speculating for the insurance money. And he was writing racial epithets on the wall. He spray painted the N-word on the wall. He spray painted the word monkey on the wall. He spray painted swastikas, and he spray painted MAGA because he wanted, to make sure it's very clear this wasn't just some random hate crime hoax. This was a MAGA hate crime. All those famous MAGA hate crimes that we hear about all the time, which is interesting because they never turn out to be true, do they? I mean, shit, if they could find one dyed-in-the-wool MAGA guy who is running around vandalizing things and hate criming people left and right, that would absolutely be something that was blown up in the media to a degree that we have never seen. If this authentically happened, particularly to a famous person, where people just hated him so much because of his race that they went, you know what we ought to do? We ought to go into his business and write the N-word on the wall. And then write MAGA to make everyone know this is about Trump. My motivations are Trump. And also swastika and also monkey, just in case, throw a little extra in there. And then he wrecked his own restaurant. Somebody witnessed him doing this. Described the vehicle he was driving. He ripped the flat screens off the wall. Drywall was still on the flat screens when the cops caught up with him. And they found out, okay, well, this guy faked it. New Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett 2.0. And it made me think. I know that leading up to 2016, there were people who were claiming to be victims of hate crimes. I remember very specifically there was a lesbian couple who claimed that somebody burned their house down. Hey, turns out they burned their own house down and wrote queers on the side of the wall and, whatever, lesbians, dykes, we don't like gay people, and slurs of all types to, get people riled up about all that. And make people go, well, obviously people saw two women in love and they couldn't stand it. And hey, in this Trump world, that's what it is. And if you watch the lazy media, you would think, if you're paying attention, if you're listening with half an ear, you would think that is the world we live in. Not the fact that the new right and Trump supporters have embraced gay people, have embraced minorities, have embraced individuals and individuality better than the left ever could have dreamed. The left has been doing it since the 60s. It was the big spin of individuality and personal freedom and blah, blah, blah. And within 2-3 years, soon as conservatives caught on and said, oh, that's what people want. They want freedom. Stop with this bullshit. Stop with the wars. Stop with all the, the corporate interest nonsense. And let's focus on getting money in people's pockets and personal liberties and personal freedoms. And the second they did that, people identified with it immediately. People always used to say, I am financially conservative, but socially liberal. That was the big cliche that you heard from pretty much every intelligent person I could think of. Well, guess what the new right is? It's financially conservative and it's socially liberal. And the liberals hate it. The leftists hate it because we took their thing that they couldn't do because it was steeped in dishonesty. It was steeped in fraud. So they put this narrative out that, no. The new right is even more racist than you could have ever imagined. It's a secret racist cabal. And we're going to prove it. How are we going to prove it? Jussie Smollett is going to pay some Nigerian guys to beat him up, and he's going to put a noose around his neck. Very dramatic, by the way. Very unrealistic, and I think everyone smelt that all over the scenario. They're going to put a noose around his neck. They're going to say They're going to cover all the bases. They're going to say racial epithets. They're going to say sexual gay slurs and whatnot to Jussie Smollett. And just to drive the point home, because they always go like 2 or 3 steps too far to really prove they're wearing MAGA hats, so we know who they voted for. It's not ambiguous, because otherwise he could just say some racist guys beat me up, and people could go, you have no proof that this guy's a Trump supporter. No. He was wearing Trump paraphernalia, and he had a bottle of bleach with him, and they were trying to bleach my skin because they hated the blackness of my skin so much. They were trying to bleach the melanin right out of it. Ha 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 ha, laughing. This is MAGA country, Chicago, Illinois. And apparently these Trump people roaming the streets of the most dangerous city in America just happen to carry a gallon of bleach and a rope with them, just in case they run into any black people, which they would be running into on every street corner. If you've ever been to Chicago, you'd know. No, but he's famous, you see. So were they stalking him? The more questions you ask, the more you're like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. And we all knew it was bullshit. And then, hey, lo and behold, it comes out as bullshit. Lesbian couple burns down their own house. The other myth that was going around was, and this isn't even a specific thing because it happened multiple times, Muslim women getting caught lying, saying that people were trying to rip their hijabs off their head, that these racists were grabbing hijabs and going to yank it off because, oh, how dare you wear your hijab in public. I go to New York all the time. I live in the hood in New Jersey. I see women in hijabs constantly. They're in no danger. Nobody's messing with them. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. The new right people, the most MAGA people that you'll find are the most I don't care if you do your thing people. Leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. But that's not the story that's out there. And it's out there so thoroughly that people believe it. And then you get a guy like Coughman who wants to vandalize his own business for the insurance money, apparently. And maybe the other speculative thing is he maybe was trying to get a little bit of attention from this too, and he would have gotten away with it too if somebody didn't see him do it. He got sloppy. From what I heard, the police were there and touching the spray paint on the wall, and it was still wet. Spray paint dries pretty quick. If you leave it up there for an hour, it would be pretty much completely dry. So why did he do it? And why did he... Same thing with Jussie Smollett. Why did he pick the very, very specific things he did to himself? And what does that tell you about the person who did it? And when I thought about that for a minute, I just got sad. Not because I think, me and Jussie Smollett might be buddies in another life, or me and Edawn Coughman would be hanging out, and maybe we would, I don't know. But the fact is, their brain is so sour that when they do this stuff to themselves, it's like when you tell yourself a story and you're playing all the parts in the story, like, if you're saying, if I say this to my boss, he would say this back to me, then I would say this, then he would say this, then somebody else would do nothing, and then and it's like, this scenario hasn't happened, and you're getting yourself mad and hyped up over a movie that's playing in your head where you're the director, you're the writer, you're the actor, you're the gaffer, you brew the coffee in the morning, and you're playing all the roles yourself, and then you're getting yourself worked up over a hypothetical scenario that never happened. That's what these hate crime hoaxes are. It's a story that Edawn Coughman and Jussie Smollett and these Muslim women who say I had my hijab ripped off and it never happened. There's evidence. Well, you're on camera the whole time and that never happened. You're lying. What it is it's a commentary, because they're the writer of this theatrical racist piece that they starred themselves in and cast themselves in. It's a commentary on how they see themselves, which when that sits for a minute and you realize what that means, you're going to want to cut your fucking wrists, because it's fucking depressing. It is depressing that a guy like Edawn Coughman, a big guy, an athletic guy, a professional athlete, an NFL star, a guy who now owns businesses, a guy who, if he said who he was, I used to play for the Buccaneers, he could probably get a beer in any bar in this country. No one hates him. And Trump supporters in particular. You think Trump supporters like the NFL? Well, they don't like, the posturing and bullshit from the NFL, but they watch football on Sundays. You think they were sitting there gritting their teeth looking at Edawn Coughman going, that black guy, I oughta. It's like, no, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. If he's a good player, you want him to play for your team, you don't care about race. It is capitalism at its finest. But Edawn Coughman, and really picture this, I'm not trying to be funny. But a grown man, big guy, 300 pounds, over 6 foot, successful guy, standing in his own business with a spray can, writing the word monkey on the wall. Because he thinks, well, when people see me, obviously, these evil Trump supporters or whatever, when people look at me, they see monkey. So they think that would make sense. Writing the N-word on the wall in your own business because you think when people see me, they see the N-word personified. That's probably what everyone's thinking. When white people see me, that's probably how they feel. That's probably what they think. And you know who thinks that? MAGA. Writing it in your own business, in your own hand, and telling yourself a story. The justification to yourself is, I bet they feel this way anyway, so I'm not doing anything wrong. I bet if they had the chance, if they knew where my business is, if they this, if they that, it would be trashed and vandalized. Never mind the fact that the left does this all the time. Never mind the fact that Milo can't go on Legion of Skanks without people writing Nazis go home on the side of the venue that he's advertised to perform at and basically do a podcast and crack a few jokes and have some booze with the boys. No, that's real vandalism. Never mind the New York Metropolitan Club and breaking all the windows and saying we will not be civil and all that. Like the real vandalism coming from real leftists that isn't a hoax. Never mind all that. He's hypotheticaling himself. He's what-ifing himself into this world that doesn't exist. But he thinks so little of himself that he thinks this is plausible. That this is what people see when they see me. They don't see an NFL player. They see the N-word. They don't see an amazing athlete or a good man, a good father, a good husband. They see a monkey. And he's sitting there in the dark, in his business, spray painting the word monkey on the wall. I can't think of anything sadder. And Jussie Smollett, same thing. What do people think of me when they see me? They probably want to lighten my black skin. They're thinking that I'm this gay slur and that gay slur and the N-word and who thinks it? And then you cast your own villain, the MAGA people. Obviously, I read BuzzFeed. I know what they think of me. Oh, they'll say they don't, but they secretly do. And if they had the opportunity, they would do this anyway. So what I'm doing isn't wrong. I'm already a victim. I'm already a victim of hypothetical crime that never happened because I never had a conversation with these people and never got to know any of these people that don't think exactly the way not just I do, but BuzzFeed does. Never had a conversation with those people. So therefore, I think that they must think this. Therefore, I'm not really doing anything wrong. I'm already a victim. And if I hoax a hate crime against myself, if I say people were calling me the N-word, somebody probably was calling me the N-word. So why does it matter? And I think that the solution to this is with black people and with other minorities, you have to stop having the talk with your kids where you tell them you're going to be a victim and people see you differently your whole life. And they've done videos on this, the talk that black people have to have. I'm sure gay people have it too amongst each other. Sure, a lot of minorities are picking up on this and saying, oh, we got to talk about who we are as minorities and the fact that the world is going to see us as these monsters and homunculuses among us. It's not true. It's not true. You're not the N-word. You're not a monkey. You're not, something dirty and evil that people, white people and black people have been living side by side for thousands of years. for thousands of years. We've made it this far. It's 2019. It is the best time and least racist time to be alive. But the stories that you're telling your children, the stories that you're telling yourself, and the movie that you got in your own heads, not all black people, there's plenty of black people that aren't like this and untold that story to themselves, gay people as well, and whatever other minority, go down the list. Everything except straight white male. But women tell themselves the story now that people, that's why if you're ever in a workplace environment, and I've heard this a lot, that if something happens, like a woman gets told to, something to do or yelled at or whatever, it must be because I'm a woman that I'm being treated this way, because a man would never be. And I guess they don't see all the time, because I've worked at a lot of different jobs. I used to get yelled at all the time for bullshit. But when you talk to a woman that way in the workplace, 1,000,000%, you cannot unconvince them. No, it's because the manager's in a bad mood and you fucked up a little, but he sees it as a big deal because he feels like nobody's listening to him, and he took it out on you. The same way he took it out on me last week. The same way he took it out on John the week before. They can't see it like that. I've worked with way more black people at jobs than I've worked with white people, and every now and again it'll come up where a guy will go, "Oh, that customer treated me like that because I'm black," and I think that customer is an asshole, man. Have you ever met a customer? They're idiots. Have you ever worked in food service? You're dealing with idiots all day long. But the way sometimes black people look at it is, it must be because I'm black that he's doing this to me. Because when he sees me, he sees the N-word, and he sees monkey, and he sees this. And I just want you to know, if you're a black dude listening to this, if you're somebody with this mindset who might find this video because it was shared on a Facebook page or something, it's not true. It's not true. I don't look at you like that. I don't think that. Everyone I know doesn't think that. I've never had a private conversation with white people where they said, when I'm watching that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, that's all I see. Or, hey, that guy so-and-so at work, you know what he is. We've never had that conversation. It doesn't go on. You're not that. Stop looking at yourself like that, and stop thinking the world sees you like that, because you're fucking better than that. You don't have to play for the NFL to be better than that. You're better than that. You're a good person. You're a capable human being. You're alive on this earth today. So celebrate it and bask in it and enjoy it and be happy and be an individual, and never mind the fucking my race that I have to represent and people look at me. No, forget all that. Be you. Be whatever your name is. Be your identity. Find out what's unique about you and amplify it and exploit it. That to me is always what punk rock's been about, and that's what I'm about, and I hope that's what you're about too. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. Like, share, and subscribe to this video, and I hope to see you soon. Please comment down below. Of course, follow me on Instagram. I am at Indefensible Paul Bazile, Pawlbazile, and I will see you next time.
Ever get the feeling you've been cheated?